So something just happened that you don't see very often. Michigan State Representative Jim DeSantis and four of his colleagues have just called out the House Republican leader, Matt Hall, for his vote in favor of gun control. Hey guys, how's it going? So I just got back from Lansing, Michigan today, and I was there talking to quite a few representatives, probably at least 20. It was a very productive day. And we talked about the new Capitol Commission proposed ban on firearms in the Capitol. And we also talked about a number of other topics. You know, there's now about 3 dozen, actually a little bit more than that, gun control bills, and some of them have already been signed into law by the governor. Now, if you remember, the very first package, it was 11 bills, included red flag laws. Yeah, those are the scariest thing ever. As well as so-called safe storage laws, making it safer for the criminal as they come in your home and making you and your family less safe, as well as the universal licensing registration, which will lead to confiscation package, including private sales. Now, if you remember, I've covered this pretty closely on this channel. And stay tuned, because there's some other videos that I recorded today, as well as a bunch of posts that I've already posted on my locals community, my Facebook, check the links in the description, as well as my YouTube community post here. Now, if you remember with this so-called safe storage, some people apparently looked at this as a compromise. There is no compromise. The Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. And if there were even a scintilla of encroachment, nonetheless, gun control, yeah, that's an infringement by sheer definition. Well, there were unfortunately several Republicans who came over with the Democrats. And I think this is an interesting topic, so all of you please chime in the comments. I know a lot of you have opinions on this. Well, we have a Michigan rep, Jim DeSantis, Republican, who is kind of calling out his colleagues, particularly the minority Republican House leader, Matt Hall. He's the top Republican in the Michigan House. Now, I'm going to read this letter from Jim. I did hang out with him in the Capitol today, both outside of the House of Representatives room in the lobby, and then I went back to his office where he gave me this letter and we talked about it a little bit. Now, I do not know Minority Leader Hall personally. I have nothing against him on a personal level. However, I also would like to call out his vote for gun control. This is a Republican, and I know a lot of you say Republicans and Democrats are different sides of the same coin, and that's where I want you to chime into the comments here. Because there's 2 schools of thought. There's Representative Jim DeSantis and 4 of his colleagues publicly putting out their opposition and calling out the House Republican leader. Now, some of you are going to say, that's awesome. We need to call out our own or call out Republicans, because just because they have an R behind their name does not necessarily mean they're a defender of the Second Amendment. Now, there's the other argument, and I know some of you are going to have this, and I will read all of these comments tonight. Now, some of you are going to say we need to have unity, because even Republicans who are bad on the Second Amendment, we could still need them there, because then we could maybe get a majority soon, and we do need to get a majority of Second Amendment supporters in the Michigan House of Representatives, regardless of what letter is behind their name. And let me know in the comments. Do you call out your own party, leadership of your own party when they're voting against the Second Amendment? Well, that's what Representative DeSantis and 4 of his colleagues chose to do, because clearly the Second Amendment issue is something they're willing to ride or die on. They're in Lansing. They are going to defend the Second Amendment no matter what, whether there's pushback within their own caucus. So I'm going to read this letter real quick here. It comes from the office of Jim DeSantis, State Representative, and it's addressed to Matt Hall, House Republican Leader. Again, the top Republican in the Michigan House. And it says, Dear Leader Hall, we, your undersigned colleagues in the House, cannot express to you in strong enough terms our displeasure, disappointment, and disagreement with your yes vote on House Bills 4139 and 4144. This is the safe storage. And the head Republican did vote for these. which implement gun storage restrictions. These bills were signed into law by Governor Whitmer last Friday, and they are a signature component of her direct attack on the constitutionally protected rights of all law-abiding Michigan gun owners. In your position as leader of the House Republican caucus, we had an expectation that you would have been a strong advocate for the Second Amendment. We oppose this law, and we stand in stark public opposition to your support for it. We will work tirelessly to overturn these gun storage restrictions, as well as to repeal the newly passed Democrat gun restrictions requiring the registration of private firearm transfers and the confiscation of firearms of law-abiding citizens without due process of law. This is signed James DeSanta, State Representative, 29. Steve Cara, State Representative, 36. Matt Maddock, State Representative, 51. Josh Shriver, State Representative, 66. Neil Frisky, State Representative, 107, signed, and the original copy was delivered to Representative Matt Hall, House Republican leader. Talked to Jim, like I said, in his office today. He said he's not going to compromise on the Second Amendment no matter what. Is this a good thing? You guys know where I stand on the Second Amendment. Nothing personal, but if we're going to have Republicans, especially in the highest leadership of the House, the voters are going to find out about it. And I was not shy about it, and I talked about this when these votes passed. Is it a good thing that Representative Jim DeSanta and his colleagues are calling this out? Or do they just need to go along to get along to try to ensure that the Republicans can come back and win the House next time? Let me know down in the comments. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.